Welcome back. Next we're going to cover the jet aircraft that are not Century Series fighters in the stash. So it's kind of a catch-all for things before the Century Series, and then everything afterwards. Okay, so let's start with the F-84 Republic Thunderjet. Tamiya 72nd scale. I do dig that paint scheme. Although I hope it's decals. I'm not looking forward to painting that. See if that'll focus. Right there. The checkered with what? 1, 2, at least 3 different colors. Yeah, you can probably see it better right there. So if that is not a decal, I won't be building that version. I'll go with this guy with the blue. They're both pretty cool looking though. Looks like it's got some good detail going on. I mean, it's Tamiya, right? So it's going to be an awesome kit. F-86. Not much to say about this that I'm sure all of you don't know. About as famous of a fighter as you can get. Does have cool paint scheme on that. It's probably the one I'll build. Although that one's cool there. That's a Marine Corps one. What is this? So that's an Air Force, Marine Corps. Let's see through the glare. And that's an Air Force one as well. No, that is an Air Force one, I'm sorry. Although it says Marine right there. Weird. Anyways, be a cool kit to build. Won't take up much room. F4 Skyray is next. Oh, what a weird little aircraft. Didn't serve too long. Kind of a one of its kind. Pretty neat. Looks like it's got a little bit of detail. I have heard things about this kit, even though it's a Tamiya and it's great. I've heard that the decals for this area here on the intake are horrible. So maybe we just tape that off and spray it. Okay. Next is the Martin B-57. I think this is called the Canberra. My dad has a story of when he was in Vietnam at the airbase. He saw one of these take off and promptly get shot down. It was completely loaded with weapons. And I guess it landed in the nearby village and caused quite a bit of destruction and mayhem. He said it was quite a sight to see. Kind of a horrifying thing. Unfortunately, he does not have photographs of that aircraft before it was destroyed, or I would build it to match the markings of that one. I think this was an English plane originally. I'm not entirely sure, but I think so. Okay. Oh, that's an Italiary. And my battery's dying, so I'm going to pause this and then charge up the camera and finish the video. Okay, battery's charged, so here we go. Part 2. Jet aircraft that are not Century Series. So next we have the Douglas Skyhawk, Tamiya 72nd scale. Pretty neat Vietnam era plane, definitely a workhorse. And close up with some of the details. I like those rocket pods, those look good. Next is the A7 Corsair, another Vietnam era workhorse. Absolutely awesome aircraft. When I was a little kid dreaming about growing up and being a fighter pilot or a military pilot, I would always dream about flying the A7. When I was little, it was before the F-18 had phased the A7 out. I just thought something about that nose cone and intake, just mean looking. And they also had the F-8 Crusader that was very similar in design, but it just had that pointy nose cone and just, I don't know, didn't do it for me the way that the A7 did. Plus the A7 was more of a ground attack aircraft, where the F-8 was a supersonic fighter aircraft. Hobby Boss should be a good model. I did open it up, but one thing I noticed is there's a huge seam on the cockpit glass, which is, you know, kind of annoying, but it can be polished out. Would be nice though if they sent it with a good piece of glass. Then we got the F4. We're on a roll here with the Vietnam aircraft. You know, and typically people will do the camouflage ones, but that actually looks pretty cool. The Navy one. I don't know. And there's a myriad of aftermarket decals available for these, so maybe I'll go on to one of the hobby sites or eBay. See if there's something a little different. Italeri. I don't know what this whole aviation glory is. If it's like a special kit, or if it's just special branding, but should be an alright model. Okay, and still keeping with the Vietnam aircraft, A6 Intruder. Incredible piece of machinery. Crew of 2. I would like to get the what's it called? The other variant. I don't remember what it's called, but the electronic warfare variant that has an extended fuselage and cockpit and actually has 4 crew members. That might be kind of cool to build and put next to this on display. Hopefully this will go together nicely. It's a Tamiya, so I have no reason to believe it wouldn't. Intruder. Okay, and the Viking. I don't know if this was a 60s aircraft. It probably was, but I know this served all the way into the 80s and I think maybe the 90s? I don't know. This just seems to me to be a more modern aircraft than those last few, but I could totally be wrong. Neat aircraft though. What is this? Hasegawa. That'll be a fun build. I think it'll display well also. Okay, now we're definitely out of the Vietnam period. We got the A-10 Thunderbolt. About as badass as it gets when you're talking close air support. I didn't see how I couldn't build one of these. It would almost be disrespectful not to include it. There's some of the details. Oh, actually looks like it's got some respectful cockpit detail for a 72 scale. I love how, can you see it? Well, you really can't So you can kind of see it there. It's like they built the plane around the gun. The front landing gear is actually on the side of the aircraft because the center line is all taken up with the gun. So they just put it on the edge. Thunderbolt. And then the F-16. Now we're into the super modern. Well, I guess not super modern, but definitely into the modern. Tamiya 72nd scale. They sell this kit in a less expensive version with no weapons, which I think is weird. That you have to get a separate kit that costs more. I mean, it makes sense it costs more, it has more parts, but it's just weird that you can get one with weapons and one without weapons. This is the one with the weapons. I guess maybe you might want to get your own weapons and put a different loadout on it. I don't know. Whatever. This one's got it. I've always thought that this is a really neat looking aircraft. And that's going to do it. F-16 is the last one. So that is the end of the stash. Thanks for watching.